Good morning to you. Welcome to Top of the Bridge, Up and Go. My name is Richie B.
Morning.
I didn't hear you, Audley. Are you there?
Voice a little bit low.
Okay. You can tell that he played out last night.
I'll tell you all about it.
Shelz, were you playing out late last night as well?
No, you don't. Yeah, man, you know my usual setup, bedrock and pillow jam.
Yeah.
Run well late too.
Never disappoint, right?
Yeah, straight.
Well, talking about disappoint, we're not talking football now, are we? It's too early for that.
Is it?
Isn't it? You still speaking Spanish?
Yeah, man.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
just checking.
there, man.
Just checking.
Caliente.
Oh gosh, man, we got some surprises on the over the past several days, and I suspect there might be more to come. But Neymar will be playing, so I'm not too concerned.
Oh, he's back.
Yes. Yeah, that's the last information that I have.
Cool.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. We'll tell you more about the football that's on for today. Of course, also, on a more sad note, an eruption has taken place in Indonesia, and several people are being affected. Another volcanic eruption. More on that later on. Plus, we also have a couple of things to look at. We're not going into the details of the shows yet, but I found out the word of the year as published by two major companies,
right.
Oxford and another one, and we'll tell you what those words are.
Okay.
I think I've seen one of them being used in Jamaican parlance, so we'll tell you more about that. But what we're going to tell you is that in 6 minutes from now, all that's coming up on the show will be known to you, and to you wherever you are. Welcome. This is Top of the Bridge.
Up and go.
Let's get it on. It's now time for
WTF.
What the Fact?
All right, hear this now. The first official Christmas card was sent by
who?
Queen Victoria.
What?
Yeah. So yes, Queen Victoria was the first official person to send a Christmas card. But the first commercial card came in 1843 when Sir Henry Cole produced 1,000 and sold them for 1 shilling each. There are currently only 12 of these cards left in the world, with one going up for auction a couple of years ago for £30,000.
Ooh.
Okay.
Oh.
For Christmas card.
I wonder what was written in that.
Hey.
I wonder if it's one of those that when you opened it, you hear.
No.
I'm sure that wasn't around back then.
No. That's what I feel so like my generation of Ford not really do the Christmas card thing and everything. You know, back probably in a Queen Victoria times, Christmas card, you open it, you say a nice little message, you smile, it's like, oh, nowadays, if no money no night, you them becks.
But are they doing, the now generation, are they doing cards at all, even for birthdays?
Probably digital.
Yeah?
Probably a one FB post, a little Instagram post.
Yeah.
That are the new cards.
About Mother's Day and all that.
Everything I post.
Generation Z, no?
No, I think people will give cards. I don't want to give up on cards. I think people still do cards.
Oh, okay.
I want to hope so. Especially like in like the prep primary level. Them do like, I used to like that when I used to them decorate things and then bring it to home. Parents, if you ever bring home cards, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
A time will come when them stop to that. Trust me.
Okay, this is an interesting fact though. Queen Victoria sent the first official Christmas card and started a tradition that has lasted decades.
Oh yes,
centuries almost, really. Yeah, centuries.
Yeah,
and I still don't suspect, even with Gen Z, not necessarily embracing it. Once the older folks are alive, they are still looking forward to getting their cards.
Oh, you mean what?
It's a tradition that will be around, I suspect, for a while yet. All right, if you're going out shopping for Christmas cards today, I'm sure that you know exactly where to look. A lot of pharmacies have a whole section dedicated to that, and many other places too. So go on out, and if that is your thing, then do it. All right, that was
WTF. What the fact?
Time for update.
Yes, sir. All right. So you don't know, sir, for the English fans, the England fans, big win for you guys yesterday. You don't know, so the mashup.
Congratulations,
England. Yeah, man. Very comfortable victory. So English football player Raheem Sterling had to drop out of the England and the Senegal World Cup match on Sunday due to what officials say is a family issue. Now, according to reports on Sunday, the Chelsea winger missed the World Cup quarterfinals due to a family matter. The FA announced his sudden absence early on Sunday before the match was to begin at the Al Bayt Stadium. However, it was later reported that the footballer's London home was broken into by armed men and it was robbed of Sterling's valuables. Among the reported items stolen were jewelry and other personal items. It's unclear if anyone was home or was hurt in the incident, but the police are investigating. Now, of course, Raheem Sterling is much loved by World Cup fans and Chelsea fans and Jamaican fans. Three Lions boss Gareth Southgate also spoke about the footballer's absence but didn't reveal any details. He is dealing with a family matter. I had quite a bit of time with him this morning, but now I have had to pass him on to the other people to help him with that. Then we will take it from there. That's what the England coach had to say. Now, in the meantime, it's unclear what this means for Sterling if the England team advances, which they did in the Qatar World Cup. The Chelsea baller played in two of England's qualifying matches, the opening match with Iran where they won 6-2 and against the United States, which ended with a draw. Both teams, of course, 0-0. Despite his absence, the Three Lions boss shared with ITV that he was confident in the team beating Senegal to advance, which they did. Now, as for Sterling, he has not confirmed or denied the reports. The footballer is said to be heading back to London to deal with the police regarding the home invasion.
Really sad development that. And I mean, he was doing so well. Remember one morning we spoke about the fact that he's ranked highly in terms of the number of goals scored by an England player, and would have had a good chance of maybe breaking.
Adding to that,
adding to that as the competition wore on. And imagine you having to leave World Cup, on a flight, thinking about the problems. I think he has 3 children. You mentioned that, right?
Yeah.
I think he has 3 young children at home. Man. Yeah, or at least 3 children are at the house, and his lady who was no doubt terribly shaken up. We hope that he'll and his family will be a-okay going forward. We also want to send condolences this time to 2 families within the realm of dancehall. First of all, we're talking about Idonia and his wife Kimberly Megan. Their 9-year-old son Khalif, unfortunately, Bridge Nation, from all reports, has passed. They have not confirmed the news about their son's death, but their friends and family members have reacted and have shared messages of condolences. Idonia, his real name, Sheldon Aitana Ricardo Lawrence, is married to Kimberly Megan, and the couple got married in 2016, 2 years after the birth of Khalif. There are unconfirmed reports that the little boy may have been battling cancer. His father recently shared a message on Twitter that fans now think is connected to his son's death when he said, "Pray, faith, watch God work." In another Twitter message, he said, even through the darkest times, you will still get a ray of sunlight. It is very clear that Idonia had a very close relationship with his son, whom he adored. And earlier this year, word had emerged that he had his son and his wife's names tattooed on his chest in the region of his heart, where it is written Kim and Khalif, and their names were adorned with crowns on his left breast. So this is very, very sad. And we here on Top of the Bridge Up and Go, as well as the Bridge 99 FM family, would like to just reach out and express our deepest condolences to Idonia and his wife on the passing of their son, Khalif. Of course, may his soul rest in peace. And we're really, really saddened at that story.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
man. Tough.
And there's another death within the realm of dancehall. This time, Governor is mourning the death of his sister. And interestingly, Governor and Idonia work very, very close together. Idonia is responsible for Governor coming onto the scene.
Yeah, man. One link.
As it has turned out, dancehall artist Governor is mourning the loss of his sister Samantha, who reportedly died in the Dominican Republic on Saturday after suffering post-surgery complications. The woman had traveled to the Spanish island for a cosmetic procedure said to be the popular body-altering Brazilian butt lift surgery. They call it BBL. And she suffered complications days later while she was in a recovery house. The loss of Governor's sister adds to the current pain of the 4th Jenner camp. As we mentioned earlier, Idonia and his family are mourning the humongous loss of their 9-year-old son. On Sunday, Governor seemingly confirmed the news that his sister had passed away as he shared a photo hugging his sister, and he wrote, "Real love me have for you, my sister, #RIP. The artist has not commented about the cause of death, but there are reports online that she had been in a recovery house after having a second round of BBL surgery when she actually died. And we'd like to express our deepest condolences again, this time to Governor and to his family on the passing of his sister, Samantha.
Ah, boy.
Really sad.
Yeah, man.
Really, really sad. I listened to something on YouTube where a young lady who apparently has done 3 procedures already. She was speaking, apparently she knew Samantha, and she said up to Saturday she was having a conversation with her, and she sounded quite bubbly and everything like that. So she's not certain what could have happened between between the day before she died and when she actually died. But interestingly, the young lady was saying that it's something that's addictive.
Oh.
Like she says, you do one and it goes through okay.
Yeah.
And then you do another and it goes through okay. And then she actually says you go out and you see a young lady looking a certain kind of way and you feel like you can just go in again and get a shape or whatever it is that will make you compete, look just as good. And so she really says that it's something addictive.
Wow, that's a perspective.
Literally is what she said.
Yeah, that's a perspective right there.
Yeah. So
Wow.
you know, I don't know. I mean, even with these developments, we heard what happened or might have happened with Grace Hamilton. You wonder whether or not, even with these developments, whether or not it will reduce the number of persons who are heading in that direction to do these
Richie.
reconstruction.
Richie, if what the sister says right and it's addictive, then people still are going in,
Yeah.
Sadly. Yeah. Wow.
Man, oh man. Well, anyway, that's it for update.
Yeah.
Condolences to the families that mourn the loss of their loved ones. It's now 22 minutes before the hour of 7 o'clock.
Everybody, up, get the
That was update. And it's now time for a series of features, starting off with the proverb of the day. Today's proverb is...
Long run, short catch.
That's a short one, but it's a powerful one. How it go?
Long run, short catch.
Okay, it's worth repeating. Long run, short catch.
I've heard this
Spelled
before.
S-H-A-A-T. That's a very, very popular one.
Yeah, I've heard this.
I'm just wanting to make sure that what I've always thought is what it really means.
Is it?
So let's find out. The meaning of long run, short catch is it may take a long while for you to be caught and punished for wrongdoing, but you will be caught one day.
I get it.
So you go on and run and run and run and you do the evil deeds and run and run and run. One day, you are going to get catch.
That easy.
Yeah, man. So, long run, short catch.
Okay.
All right, that's the proverb of the day. Now, we're wondering whether or not he would be the person who will be sharing a pet peeve this morning. It has now been confirmed. And we're we're about to find out another of Shelz's pet peeves.
Yeah.
What are pet peeves? These are things that people do that you find upsetting, annoying, irritating, and we call them pet peeves. Shelz,
Yes, sir.
log on.
All right, so that one I'm not afraid to talk. That one is a seasonal pet peeve of mine. So you're gonna hear me say it next year
Christmas,
again.
man.
Hear this. You see the people them. I'm not see none yet now. But you see the people them who put the reindeer antlers and the red nose pan on the car.
Welcome to that.
Go and go park it underneath
Why?
for stop it. I don't like it, Richie. It don't make
Tell
no
them
sense. You understand? Me no get it. You understand what I mean? So what you trying to say? You understand? Huh? What you trying to
Christmas
say?
is here. Christmas is
man.
near.
Richie, if you
The
want to
feeling of Christmas is everywhere.
Richie, if you want to me get annoyed, man, make all three of them pass me.
It's not like we all want in a car park and just rip it off.
No, man, no. I'm not go so far. We're not go so far. No, we're not go so far. We're not go so far.
Peter John, you agree? Yeah?
No, man, because I don't get it.
Why is it upsetting?
I don't know because I don't get it. I don't.
Not a part of our culture.
Yeah, not just that. Some people are weird. Go have it on their car straight back to March.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? No. You understand me? I say, yo, how back in the day, you see me all the way at people. If it's like a public transport vehicle, no, man, I see. I'm not going out in Reggie.
Oh, where is it?
No, man, it's serious, man. I don't want none of my G them for see me and then no Rudolph looking. What me I do in a Rudolph?
Rudolph
Why?
decorated.
Why?
Yeah, you're white like popcorn. No, on a serious note,
I don't get it.
I mean, but why you find this upsetting? I mean, like,
No, it's irked me.
Let them
It
be.
irked me. It irked me. We don't know something about it.
it goes. You don't have a problem with the Christmas lights and Christmas tree and all that kind
No,
of
man,
stuff.
that nice, man.
That nice?
That's beautiful. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's beautiful. And then I gotta take it even step further. I'm a little step on people too, you know. Certain car, enough for Avon the ant.
Okay then.
But I left it there, so. You get what me I say, Peter John?
Okay then.
Me not go call no car name because I don't want nobody feel guilty.
Yeah.
But certain car, enough for have it. Because I'm not this Rudolph now.
Jalopy.
Hey, man.
I grew up trouble in that jalopy.
Me not say that. Listen,
All right.
Yeah, my pet peeve.
You have upset a few people.
Me know.
And others are maybe saying, hey, may I agree with him? We had indicated earlier that Senator Damion Crawford made some statements recently in relation to his call for an increase in the age of consent from 16 to 18 years, given the prevalence of teenage pregnancies in Jamaica, where it was stated that over 60,000 young girls gave birth to a child over the past 10 years. We have in fact now connected with Damion Crawford, and we say good morning and welcome. Senator, good morning. How are you doing?
Greetings, Senator.
I'm living a good life for you.
Not too bad at all. I attempted to provide an explanation to the nation earlier by saying, remember that Damion is a farmer, and he might have to attend to some of his stock before he got on.
I'm on route to St. Mary's. There's some little spots that I don't hear the phone.
Okay, I got you.
The junction. I got phone.
Yeah, man, no worries, man. Glad to have you, Damion. Delve a little deeper, if you will, into what you are proposing as the reason or reasons for increasing the age of consent from 16 to 18 years.
Okay, all right. So
Seems like he's gone out of range.
and the type of citizen that it wants, a range, right? The type of citizen that it wants really speaks to at the end of childhood, because the difference between a child and an adult is that a child is in the process of becoming independent, while the adult should be in the main independent. So therefore, what we want is to say, how do we create independent adults so that our society can have a achievement of interdependence? So what we have is that we have decided to move the secondary experience from 5 years to 7 years. Now, in that circumstance, it means that instead of 17-year-old graduation, you will now have a 19-year-old graduation. So what I looked at was, what are the circumstances based on research that has reduced the completion and successful completion of the 5-year experience, and by extension would also contribute to the limited completion of the 7-year experience. It showed that after third form, almost 40% of our students were not going to school, not in attendance, even though they were registered to school. And while 41% of the boys said they were simply not interested, 49% of the girls were pregnant. They stopped school because of pregnancy. It is this statistic why I researched how many girls became pregnant over a period of time. And we're averaging 6,000 a year, young girls becoming pregnant. So the further research, especially UNICEF, showed that a lot of these, especially low-income young girls, were lured into sexual participation for gifts, and gifts include food. And so therefore, to prevent the perpetrator, I propose firstly that we change the age of consent, and secondly that we have a pedophile registry and a minimum sentence, so that the perpetrator will be prevented, and to prevent the child from seeking to participate, that will include increased sexual education in schools.
How would the pedophile registry prevent persons, as you put it, from moving from community to community?
Well, for one, a parent will be able to check, a school will be able to check. So a person couldn't go to sign up as a coach or a teacher, etc., having already been in the registry. But also there are many clubs, societies, community youth clubs that these pedophiles seek to participate. And also within that community, leaving children unattended, new people, any reasonable parent would check on those. In the States, they do have sexual offense registries. And the persons who are pedophiles can't participate in certain activities, including can't have their light on during the sweetie giving activity in November, Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore you'll have specific coaching activities and stuff that they would not be able to participate. The public shame as well is a deterrent. People don't want that public shame. A lot of times they don't want to accept the child, put their name on the birth certificate, etc. And again, we propose that SITSOCA should investigate all teenage mothers and be able to take DNA to prove their case.
Yeah. You think that minimum sentence, did you make a recommendation in that regard, or would you leave that to the justice system?
No, we made a minimum sentence. I said 10, the Senate responded with 15. There is a belief within society that minimum sentence is an adequate deterrent, as was said in the gun 15 years, and we're going for murder 30 years. So I really wasn't a personal believer in it. However, if the country's opinion is that minimum sentences should work, then we should apply that same reasoning to all offenses that we want to deter. And in this case, I ask for that similar treatment as the guns and the murders, because it really is a robbery of a future, and in some cases, a death of a future. Mm-hmm. And to that extent, I thought that should be considered as well.
Agreed. Greetings, Senator Shelz here.
Well,
I'm there, man. So, this sounds like an all hands on deck type of situation, Senator. And so my question is, do you believe that this is something both parties would take seriously? Can both parties work together with this initiative?
It's difficult for me to speak for both parties. It's even difficult for me to speak to all of my parties, a whole heap of people with many opinions. Mm-hmm. Some people may say we don't need an extension of the age, we just need the education in schools. Some may say we only need one or two. So when you make multiple recommendations, you can't wholeheartedly say all is equally appreciated.
Right.
I've seen on the internet some people respond to say that it is not necessary. Some say that an increase in the age will criminalize other young people. But within the proposal, we also ask for a caveat of 3 years. So therefore, I know that some 19-year-olds will be in a relationship with a 17-year-old. And we're not intending to criminalize that 19-year-old. That is where the youth diversion and the in-school education will become important. Mm-hmm. Who we intending to criminalize and to punish is the 35 and the 40 and the 28-year-olds that are seeking the attention of a 14-year-old and a 15-year-old. So I can't speak to all, but what I do know is that we have a crisis situation where in the last 5 years, 185,000 children with CXC or was at the age of CXC, and only 44,000 got the 5 subjects. 140,000 did not. So 17% achievement of 5 subjects, which is what we call a GED. If the United States have a 17% achievement of GED, that will be crisis. That will be all over CNN and all those stations, and that's what we are achieving. 17% passes 5 subjects in math and English. So we have to do everything to change that.
Yeah. Senator, what do you say to the naysayer who is out there right now saying, sure, increasing the age of consent is not going to stop the teenage pregnancies? What do you say to them?
I find the arguments put forward to be rubbish. They're saying that, okay, the parents should control their children. But these things have two sides, the predator and it have the prey. So while it is we want to equip and encourage our parents to stop the children, we as a government must also put laws to stop the predator. It's like saying that the person who's robbed should simply just not go on the street or be more careful. You must put things to deter the person who has ill intent. in the equal way, you must put things to ensure that the person with positive intent isn't left to the ills and negatives of the society. So yes, we want to do the education in schools, but we also must ensure that those predators, especially when the circumstance of the prey is of such, if food is an encouragement, then that person is in a very negative and terrible circumstance. And we have over 500,000 people living below the poverty line, which is $240 a day. So if you have 500,000 people living on $200 a day, for 3 meals, they'll only have $80. We know that nobody can have $80 can buy a meal, and that means them thieving light, thieving water, not paying rent. So those persons in particular who are undereducated, who are underinformed, and who are in dire straits for basic needs, we want to protect them from the predators.
Are you planning to take these arguments deeper within the political directorate? What's your next move?
Well, we made the statement in the Senate, and we're going to be moving a motion within the Senate for a law to be implemented. That motion will be voted on in the Senate, and if the vote is positive, then it will move to the drafting of a law.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll continue to monitor this development. Thank you once again, Senator. Have a great day today.
Respect.
Thank you, Mama. Thank you.
All right, take care. Cheers. That's a chat there with Senator Damion Crawford, opposition spokesperson on education, training, and competitiveness. Inside of Primetime Radio this morning, it's time for us to make that connection between Bridge 99 FM and The Beat London 103.6 FM. From Richie B Shelz and the crew here in Jamaica, we say good morning or good afternoon, really, to Robo Ranks and the team at The Beat. Good afternoon, Robo.
What if I could do my bounty voice? Good morning. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Yeah, you sound
This
like
afternoon here.
You sound like Bounty after he has settled on that $60 million lawsuit, which he says has come to an end, and monies will have to be paid out to him, which he was putting forward for some royalties that were overdue.
Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah. Hello.
He looked and sounded ecstatic, but what may come out of this is there are going to be a few more artists who are going to be chasing the trail as well, because that particular label, Mood Music, and the gentleman in question who was looking after Bounty's, and when I say looking after very well Bounty's publishing for many years. There's a lot of artists who are actually still signed to that label, so it's kind of opened up a whole new can of worms for that organization as it is right now. So Bounty Killer being one of the elder statesmen of dancehall. Many artists who were signing publishing at the time back in the early 2000s went in the same direction as Bounty Killer. So don't be surprised if you hear a few more names lifting the lid on their situation at this point right now.
Yeah, it's not often that we end up using Bounty Killer and Mr. Vegas in the same sentence. But we can mention here that Mr. Vegas has also struck a deal to put away the lawsuit that he had brought against VP Records, and they had a meeting between himself, his attorneys, VP Records, represented by Chris and Randy Chin, and their attorneys. And it is now public knowledge that Mr. Vegas has also had some success in relation to matters arising out of claims that he had made on music that they would have distributed for him through the years. And I suspect that he's also looking at a fairly handsome payday based on what we're hearing.
Well, it's a handsome payday now. It could have been a better payday over the years. But what happened at the time, I'm sure you understand this, Richie. In the 90s, when the music was popping off, a lot of young acts at the time couldn't believe that this turn of fortune was going to be handed to them with their singles. And at the time, you're kind of working out of not really having the right type of management structure. You're working for labels. You may be part of a juggling that contains 20 other artists just like you, and your song happens to be the smash hit. And these artists were offered publishing deals to get the single or to get their singles out and about, and it meant that they would sign, deals that really wasn't favorable at the time. And 20 years on, as like wine, music matures, and so does your publishing. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, it is important that lessons be learned from these situations. And maybe upcoming artists want to be thinking about this and getting their attorneys involved from very early, so that they can avoid any pitfalls that might come later as they progress in their career.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Want to be talking some football, but let's get you playing some music, and then on the other side we talk some more about football, World Cup, and all of that, England winning and all of that. We won't go around that, or even Raheem Sterling leaving the team and heading back home to England. But let's get some music up in here, Robo, and then we continue our conversations after.
All right, let's do this.
By the way, Errol was in Jamaica recently. I wonder if he's still here, Robo.
I think he's still here. Errol's look like Errol ain't. He's not coming back to London.
Really?
Errol said, well, maybe one more week. That was about 3 weeks ago. One more week. I see you coming back. One more week.
Oh, gosh.
I think he was supposed to come and see you guys at the radio station. He threatened to do it, but I said, but Errol, that sounds like work. Yeah, maybe next week. One more week. Yeah.
I got information that he was in Jamaica, and I gave him a big shout out last week. Understand he was smiling ear to ear. Nice. So big up yourself, Errol.
Big up, Errol.
Whether or not you stay,
you may see him soon.
We're looking forward to that. We also want to big up our team in the studio with us. Not just those who are with us on air, but of course Jody's in the background there. Our producer Sean has arrived,
big up, Sean.
and we say Mr. Ferguson. Should we call him that?
Yeah.
Or is Sean okay? if we go out of line, he can cut us off.
Yeah.
So we have to be careful. And we're also saying hi to Peter John, which is a new member of our team that's in the engineers tech ops chair this morning. All right. Big ups London town, of course. Raheem Sterling had to leave the World Cup in Qatar and head back to the UK because of what is being reported as a burglary at his place of residence. Is that being discussed a lot in London as we speak, Robo?
Well, the rumor mills were going crazy last night because I'm Shelz will know this. A lot of the footballers who play for Chelsea would live close to Cobham, which is in Surrey. Very, very leafy area in the UK. Very close to obviously London. It's just a few miles out from London. That's where Chelsea's main ground is. I've been to Flora Maluda's residence, and you'd have to look from way out in the country to see his house in the country.
Wow.
So yeah, these houses are kind of in secluded areas in Cobham. So the rumors that were swirling around the internet before the match that his house was burgled, but it was an armed robbery where his family's involved. I suspect if you get yourself in an unfortunate situation where somebody breaks into your property and violates your property, you take things that your possessions, your medals, and
valuable possessions,
think about the things that these footballers own. Some can be replaced. Obviously, life can't be replaced, but some can be replaced. But I think it probably was more serious than what it's led to believe. But for you to fly home from work to deal with a matter that if it was just a burglary, and I say just in inverted commas, in just a burglary, I don't think he would fly out. I think it was a serious situation.
And I think
it's not being reported like that.
Oh, I think it said that he has young children at his place of residence.
Yeah.
And no doubt the family would have been terribly shaken up. And I can see the need for daddy to return to sort of keep things, especially when you have young children involved. But we hope that he didn't suffer too badly in terms of losses, and we're thankful that we're not hearing of any anyone losing their life. And we want to wish him all the best as we congratulate England. At least we from this where we seated, if not Robo, to say congratulations.
I will congratulate them on their victory. Of course, I'll congratulate them on the victory. Saka scoring. I don't hate the players, the circumstances around England. I don't like, but congratulations to England. I mean, but that's where the train stops. All change, France on Saturday. All change. Off the train now.
He's in. By the way, Bridge Nation, he's in England speaking like that. Okay. And we're here fearful being talking like that.
Didn't I say I was supporting France? I'm not French. Yeah. Bonjour. But I like that French team. I like the way I like the setup of the French thing. I do like Brazil and all these things, but I'm sticking with what I said.
All right. Mbappe looks really good though. We have to give it that.
And Mbappe faces England next.
Yeah.
Oui, Maguire.
Tough tasks ahead.
Way.
Tough tasks ahead.
Way.
Now, founder and managing director of Technological Solutions Limited, Dr. Andre Gordon, is the 2022 recipient of the National Medal for Science and Technology.
Wow.
He has been recognized for outstanding contribution to research in the field of food science and technology. We understand that the award was presented by Prime Minister and Chairman of the National Commission on Science and Technology, the NCST, the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, and that was during a ceremony at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel in New Kingston last month. I think it was the 17th of November. Technological Solutions Limited provides scientific and technical services to the manufacturing, distribution, food service, agriculture, hospitality, and export sectors in the Caribbean. It's a 26-year-old company headed by its managing director, who is in fact our guest in this segment, of course, Dr. Andre Gordon, our guest at this time. And we have him with us, don't we? Yes. Good morning, Doc.
Morning, Mr. Burgess, Richie B.
Hi, Andre. How you doing?
Listeners. I'm good, man.
It's
been a long time.
It's been a long time, and we go way back now, don't we?
Yes, sir. Of course.
We both attended Titchfield High School, Shelz.
Respect.
Great institution.
Fantastic institute. I'm glad you're here to help me, because Shelz is a KC old boy.
Here we go.
And you know how that goes, Dr. Gordon.
Oh my God.
So we have frequent battles. You know what I mean.
I can imagine.
Yes.
I know those KC old boys, man.
But I don't get a chance to say it often, but I want you to know that I'm very, very proud of what you have done, the contributions that you have made at several levels to our national development, and in fact continue so to do. For those who do not know, though, Dr. Andre Gordon, take us back to your childhood and give us a little glimpse of what childhood was like for you.
Okay, I will, but I should also say, listeners, I'm also quite proud of Richard. I remember him as a young man, and his work in media and just generally has changed so many lives, giving people a reason to get up in the morning and learn from him every day. So,
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, man.
So I was actually born in Falmouth, Trelawney, the now deceased Justice U.D. Gordon. He wasn't justice at the time. He was working in the court's office.
Mm-hmm.
And a teacher who was giving lifelong service to Jamaica, Cynthia Gordon, who just passed as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then we moved to Port Antonio, because I grew up for most of my young years, if you want to call them that, in Port Antonio. Went to what was called Evely Park School, and then to Titchfield. Having spent some time in Kingston, because we moved around.
Mm-hmm.
Before coming to Portland, in Kingston, I went to Chartwood practicing school. That's the first school I went to, and then to Portland. Had a good childhood, in a home with an educator. So those who have teacher parents in those days know what it's like. You have to do your work. You have to be disciplined. And you try not to get up to too many issues.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Portland was just incredible. I lived on Titchfield Hill, right beside the high school. So, every day you're in the sea, fishing, you're playing with the boys. The boys played football on the field. It was just a really, really, really great childhood. And at the time, Titchfield Hill was the place that everybody wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of people lived there.
And although you were right next door to the back gate of the school where you were living, you were not allowed to be late for school, I suspect.
That was absolutely not an option.
Yes.
Absolutely. I could see everybody coming to school. So
Right.
No, we had to get out early. And my mother used to teach at Titchfield, so you know how it goes.
Absolutely.
That makes it even worse. You
Yes.
can't believe it.
We had a chemistry teacher, Mr. Fulston, and I'm wondering if his tutelage and encouragement would have put you into that science arena where you are still at present.
You know, I mentioned Mr. Fulton at the award ceremony because he was one of the signal teachers in my life and in many of our lives. Mr. Fulton was the person that made science seem so simple, so easy, so exciting, so common sense, and so central to life. As the pandemic has just shown us. You know, a lot of people think this thing is untouchable and it's only done by a few people in a white coat in a lab. That's not science. Science is what allows us to breathe. It's what allows us to use the technology we're using now and that you use on the radio that affects global warming, that allows us to do literally everything is driven by science. And he brought that knowledge and that comfort to you and I and all those of us who were privileged to go through his hands at Teachfield High School. And he really set me on the path.
Absolutely.
All right. Now, greetings again, Dr. Gordon. Now,
yes.
So Technological Solutions Limited, you know, take us back to the inception. What was the thought process behind it? And,
wow.
Yeah, and fast forward to now, how are you feeling, you know, about your company? How are you a proud man right now?
I'm a very proud man for TSL. Just before you came on, I was talking to a colleague in Trinidad who is at this moment working to help a company about to be inspected by the Food and Drug Administration from the U.S. In a couple of days. And what we do, I'll start here and then go to the beginning. What we do is help companies in the developing world, largely in the Caribbean, but elsewhere, be able to compete in their domestic market and in the markets that they choose to export their products to. Whatever they require to do in terms of training their staff, designing and building a new facility, getting equipment in, putting in systems and developing new products, TSL does everything. And we've been doing that for 26 years. And it's all based on sound science. So, yes, it's a company I'm proud of. It was something I wanted to do, I would say, from about 1983. I know for a lot of people that's their entire lifetime. But I think I know at least one of the persons on this call, Sir Burgess. I was born at that time. I know that for sure.
Yes, for sure. Absolutely.
Yes, as a undergrad student, when I got into medicine and then decided I didn't want to do medicine, I was convinced by some others, in addition to what I'd done at Teachfield and at Arden, that if we could help Jamaica and the Caribbean grow its own food, develop its own products, and compete with the rest of the world, it would have a longer term and more lasting impact on everybody's future trajectory. And so I decided to get myself the skills to be able to do that. At University of the West Indies and subsequently at University of Guelph, I'd wanted to work with the government to do this, but learned shortly after I came back with my PhD that wouldn't probably work the way I thought. So I went to Grace Kennedy, that I had worked with before, and helped them produce a whole range of goods that are being exported all over the world now. And through them, most of the manufacturers in Jamaica. I mean, we worked with a lot of the small manufacturers and some who are now big, some listed on the stock exchange, help them grow, develop new products, put in systems to ensure that their products are safe and good quality. And in 1996, the opportunity arose, and I had developed a world-class technical center for Grace Kennedy that both of us saw an opportunity for us to take over. So we took it over, and Technological Solutions Limited was formed.
Wow. Even recently, at the onset of the pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic, we know that you played a very important role in our nation's health and safety. Can you just give us a little indication for those who are not aware of how you assisted us all during that time?
Right. Thank you for the opportunity, Richie. So what happened is TSL has largely worked. We call it applying science improving lives through health and enterprise. Now, we've always been working in the food and other industry, right across the Caribbean, in Western Africa, Southern Africa. We have clients as well, but we've largely been working with people in production, in the tourism industry, agriculture, manufacturing, export, distribution. We've also always been involved in health. We do a lot of work with sick building syndrome and other things related to occupational health, environmental health with water quality and the safety of food, and public health. But during the pandemic, we realized that if Jamaica wasn't able to be able to test quickly and accurately for the COVID-19 virus, we wouldn't have an opportunity to control its spread and help people recover and also stay safe. So we at TSL had started using what is called PCR, or polymerase chain reaction technology, amongst many other technologies we've brought into this country. I think it was 2018. So we approached one of our partners overseas, based in the U.S. actually, based in Philadelphia, Invisible Sentinel, now a part of bioMérieux, which is a $2 billion diagnostic company. Anyway, we said to them, listen, we need some help. We want to be able to test for this virus. What do you have? They didn't have anything at the time, but we're thinking about it. So to cut a long story short, we convinced them to look at applying the technology, which they had already started doing. But we wanted to use it to test for human beings. They were using it to test, or looking to develop it to test the environment. So we, once they had it, the technology perfected, we brought it here to Jamaica. We adapted it to test for human beings, for COVID-19 virus to virtually 100% accuracy, 99.8%. And that allowed us to be able to do COVID-19 tests with the most accurate method available domestically, and be able to provide results within 24 hours or maximum 48 hours. So, and this was by July 2020, when the ministry was struggling to manage the testing at the time.
Hold it right there, Dr. Gordon. Let's just do an official time check, shall we? Yes.
Sure.
Tell me where you get the money transfer. Alliance. Where you get the money transfer. Alliance.
Money when and where you need it. Alliance MoneyGram Money Transfer. The time by Alliance is...
It's exactly now 14 and a half minutes before the hour of 9 o'clock. If you just joined us, we're talking here with the Managing Director of Technological Solutions Limited, Dr. Andre Gordon. He just highlighted the very important role that he played, especially at the onset of COVID-19 in terms of getting our tests done and getting the results back in a short time through the PCR test. You were recently awarded by the Prime Minister. How proud a moment was that for you?
Well, let me tell you, it was, I can't describe it. We've done a lot of work for this country. And we got Akis back into the U.S. market after it had been banned for 27 years. We reopened the EU market for Conch. We've helped a lot of companies totally transform. But I've been recognized by the U.S. Embassy, by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, but never recognized by my country. So to be recognized by my country was something special.
Yeah.
I hadn't expected it, and so that made it doubly special.
Is it your hope that more students, youngsters coming up, will take on this business of science and technology and go into that stream from high school and so on?
Well, it's our mission. TSL has as one of its objectives to create the environment in which the next generation of scientists in Jamaica and the Caribbean can express their creativity and be able to make a good living practicing science and technology in our region. And in fact, we've started, and you don't know this, Richie, by giving 4 scholarships to needy students, very, very, very smart students at 4 high schools, Titchfield being one,
Okay.
Arden, Manchester High, and Herbert Morrison.
Fantastic.
Wow.
And
Fantastic.
we're going to be extending that down to the next level, so the primary school level, and making sure we engage with students so they can see science at work and help them build their careers in whichever area of science they choose.
That is really, really like music to our ears.
Yeah, man, I love that.
It's a fantastic thing. Dr. Andre Gordon, listen, we could go on and on, but I just want to take time again to congratulate you. Maybe we'll have you back on with us at a future date. But congratulations, and keep on keeping on, and we'll monitor all the good things that you're doing for our country. Thank you so much for talking with us this morning.
Thank you for having me. I do listen to the Bridge 99 FM.
Oh, thank you,
If
sir.
anybody is listening,
Yes.
great station to listen to. You learn and you relax.
All right. Thank you
respect,
so
sir.
much. And before you go, quickly, who listening to us right now would you be interested in hearing from? Is it that young person who has a vision to get into the export market because they have a product that they just came out with, or a large company that also wants to delve into the overseas market? Who are you interested in hearing from?
Do you know, we work with everybody. If it's just inspiring a young person to pursue their dreams, happy to talk to them. If it's helping a large company or a medium company earn more revenue, diversify their income, bring income into Jamaica or anywhere in the Caribbean or West Africa, or wherever they're located,
Yes.
we are happy to talk to them and help them in any way we can.
All right.
Nice.
Make contact with Technological Solutions Limited. Dr. Andre Gordon, thanks again. Have a good day, and big ups to the team.
All right. Yes,
All right.
and you all as well. Take
Thank
care.
you. Appreciate it. So we have with us this morning a gentleman. He's a recording artist who's also an ordained church elder, family minister's leader, and a music council member. He began writing music in 2017 and released 2 songs in June of this year. And they're doing well, we understand, and he's currently working on more material, I suspect maybe towards something like an EP or an album maybe. We'll find out more from him. He's married to Sophia, and they both have 2 children, a boy and a girl, both singers who did the backup vocals on his signature track, The Journey. So that is nice, the family coming together on that project. We have with us then Mr. Wayne Wallace, our very special guest at this time. Good morning and welcome, Wayne. How are you doing?
Big up.
Morning, Richie. Morning to all your viewers out there. Yeah, I'm all right. It's good to be alive and well.
Yes, sir.
You know, every day above ground is a good day.
Without a
So
doubt.
we give thanks for that. You know?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Enjoying the World Cup?
I tell you, well, the short answer is yes. I haven't got much time to watch. I was in a training, a hectic training over the last 2 weeks, and my favorite team is Argentina, but I have a little thing with them since the Reggae Boys played them and that little racist thing that came off. Yeah, so even though I have a chip on my shoulder for Argentina and Messi, I kind of not so fussy about what happened in this World Cup. It's the first World Cup really where I have been wearing jersey and making a whole bunch of noise and all of that. I kind of laid back
Just watch and see what happens. All right, no worries. All right. Now, we really want to be talking to you about your music.
Yeah.
I carried some interesting information on the track, The Journey. You have your entire family coming together and working on that one. But take us to the very beginning. How long have you been a gospel artist, and why did you choose gospel music?
Well, I think probably gospel chose me. I was born and bred in church. Seventh-day Adventist, denomination. My mother and father were strict church members. My dad was a preacher, a church leader.
Okay.
My mother was a Bible counselor. So yeah, so I was born in the church. Started singing in the choir at a very tender age, probably about 9 thereabout. We were just trying to put together a church choir then.
Okay.
And I was in country in Truro. I don't even know this place. Westmoreland.
Westmoreland, okay.
Right. And so I grew up singing. I have 3 older sisters, and we used to sing together as a group, the Wallaces.
Okay.
So when there are church programs going on within the parish and even outside of the parish, then of course we would have been invited to to come and sing. So that's my genesis in music.
Okay.
My bigger brother used to sing in a quartet called the Temperaturellas. They used to sing a cappella.
Okay.
Right? So I have been in music and been in music for most of my life, basically.
A lot of what you say sounds like a chapter in my own book in terms of my involvement in the same church. In the same arena of singing, joining the choir and at a young age, and being a part of a chorale at one stage. With about 22 members. I being the youngest one with the deepest voice, so I was the lead bassist.
Sing bass. Yeah.
So a lot of what you just said, I can identify with.
Yes.
And I'm just finding that out.
Yes.
But what is the journeyman like for you in music?
Well, the truth is that I have never really taken music seriously. When I was about 17, I just left Manning School. I became a member of a band. It was Lighthouse Band at the time. And then I started fooling around instruments. So I started learning to play drum. Before that, I used to be in the marching band, the drum corps at my church. I transferred that knowledge into playing chop sets. And so yeah, for me it was just the love of music, not thinking about making any money, not being an artist, anything serious. You grew up in the church, you learn to do this, and you just do it. So I used to play for Crusades and all of those stuff. I used to play drum. Play for some big artists too. If you remember Royal Roots, one of them died recently. There's a long time group, original gospel group named Hummingbirds. There were three virgins used to sing together. Gift and I played for those guys, the country boys and so forth, cowboys. All the older gospel groups. But as I said, never took it serious. Then I left the church for a while. So when I left, I stopped playing for the band, and that's where I stopped playing drum. When I came back in the church, now I was a part of an a cappella group by the name of Chronicles. We used to sing a whole part, go into the churches and all about rally and everything, all church concerts. The AY programs in the evenings, at the different churches, at Adventist youth programs. Different churches within the district and across the parish, singing a cappella music, And I had a love for a cappella music because the sweet sounds coming from the voices, no instruments.
Trust me.
It's just one of those things that's just awesome.
Believe that, Shelz. Believe that.
Yeah, man. It's a song we used to love, man. There's no need standing up, man. I'm telling you, man. There's no need standing up for the right. And they be, unless you gotta stand up. And everybody, it was one of those things. So, but in later years, getting older, getting more involved in church and church ministry, I became a church leader, church elder, and then it transitioned from singing to really preaching, and that caused some damage to the voice because preaching took a toll on your voice. So
I can imagine. Yeah.
Right. So when I came into Kingston about 2017, and was going through a kind of transition, that was when I really started writing music, and I guess the passion for music came back. About then.
Now, when I'm curious, so especially with Adventist groups, I know enough good singer there in Adventist.
Thank you, Shelz.
No, I really think, man.
True.
No, it's true.
Thank you.
But I'm curious, in the church community, I know it's one thing for people to like sing on during service, but what is it like when these, especially young ones who can sing, say, you know what, I want to be an artist. What is that like in the church community?
All right. The challenge with that is that gospel music in Jamaica is a very hard place. There are few gospel artists who makes money from doing gospel music, and most of those who have become recognized and probably making money is in recent years, probably over the last 5-10 years, the maximum. Before that, it was really a ministry. You can't sing and you do a thing, and pretty much that's it. You might do one song and that's it. In recent time, you have people like Jermaine and Kevin and so forth who have come to the fore, and Rosa Isabella and those persons who seriously making a wave and making a name for themselves. And Kevin never started really in gospel. Kevin used to do cabaret in the grill, right? So, in the church, it's kind of difficult because it's not like you have a central place you can go and say, okay, or somebody can go to and say, listen, I want to be a gospel artist. There's no setup for that within the church. There's a local studio by the conference center down on Constant Spring Road, but I don't know how many persons know that it exists and how much work that I've never been there.
Okay.
Right? I don't know how many persons know of it and go there and to produce
East Jamaica Conference.
So right.
Constant Spring Road.
Right. So it's kind of difficult. And this is why, unfortunately, a lot of persons who in the church and can sing and believe that they can have a career in music end up leaving church most times because the butter is really on the other side of the fence. That's just a reality. We don't want that.
Yeah.
Right? You want people to stay and be music ministers, gospel ministers, preaching the word through singing. But it's a difficult balance. It's a difficult balance.
If you're taking it on as a full-time
right? Because most
occupation.
persons who do gospel music have other jobs.
Yeah.
Carrie Seals have a job. Right? So that's the reality about gospel music.
I want to get to playing the song "The Journey," but I wanted to tell me a little bit about how that came about and how well it's doing and so on. You collaborated with your family on it, your wife and children.
Well, my wife is a cheerleader. My wife doesn't sing, but yeah, in 2019, it was my birthday, and it was a moment of reflection because life is a journey. Life doesn't just plateau or on a plane. There are ups, there are hills, and there are valleys. And it was a moment of looking back through all that I have been through. I've survived a couple of surgeries, so many different challenges, And it was a thank you, just saying to God, you have carried me this far, and really, I'm giving thanks for that.
Yeah. Wow. All right. So it's now released.
The Journey is released. Not much promotion. I have decided to kind of just, because I don't even have a video on YouTube. There's an audio. But I'm hoping that next year I can really sit down with somebody in PR and put together a proper promotional kind of a roadmap. To take me where I want to go in terms of the music career.
How big are you on social media? You have like...
I don't have a big presence on social media. I have a YouTube channel, yes. Wayne the First.
As Wayne Wallace?
Wayne the First, WAYNED. 1ST.
Okay.
Wayne the First. And also on Instagram. I'm in the places, because I'm on Facebook as well.
Yeah.
But the marketing side of it is absent.
Yeah.
Because with a full-time job, I tell you, it's difficult to find time to do marketing.
I know.
It's true.
Big ups to our friends at Lasco and the entire team. Wayne, I'm going to get a chance, and Bridge Nation also will get a chance to hear the song "The Journey," which we have selected to play this morning.
Right.
But I'm going to just go into our GOJ minute, and then we pick up with it. But thank you for dropping by this morning.
Enough respect.
Glad you made it on time. Even amidst the challenges within traffic.
It's my pleasure, man. It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. It's an opportunity for me to get a voice out there and to expose myself. And it was difficult, but I grabbed it with both hands.
You made it.
We give thanks.
Thanks so much. And we'll all get a chance to hear The Journey in a short while. Have a good day at work today, bro.
Thanks, Richie.
Yeah, man. Blessings. Man.